Hi and welcome to Love Doing Yoga on this Friday evening. Hope you've had a lovely week and you're looking forward to the weekend. The theme for today is comfort. So comforting ourselves, but giving and receiving comfort. So we'll refer to that throughout the practice. As ever, listen to your body throughout the practice. If there's anything that doesn't feel right, just stop, take a rest and join back with us when you're ready. Don't over push your body. You can take it to the edge, but don't push it beyond the edge. Okay, let's get going. We will start, as always, lying down. Finding yourself a nice, comfortable spot on your mat. And taking a little bit of time now to move into the present. Set aside everything that's going on in your life today for the next 60 minutes. This is about you creating some space for comfort, for comforting your mind and your body through your breath. Letting go all of your roles and responsibilities and just bringing yourself to the mat with no additional burdens or efforts that you're required to do off the mat. And let your attention move to your sense of hearing. Begin to notice all the sounds around you, no matter how quiet or how loud. Allow them to drift through you. There's no need to identify them. And notice the transient nature of sound, interrupted only by silence. Allowing the sounds to fill you. And then letting that attention move to your breath as you listen to the sound of your breath. Breathing in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. Allowing the belly to fill on the inhale and to contract on the exhale. And filling your entire belly on your next inhale. And exhaling slowly through the nose, allowing it to empty. And on your next inhale, filling your rib cage, allowing the rib cage to expand as you inhale. So you're moving the breath up and to contract on the exhale. Doing that again into the rib cage. And now allowing the breath to become a little shallower as you just breathe into your upper chest. Allowing it to rise and fall with your breath. And let's try to bring those 3 breaths together as one. So we're going to inhale half our breath into our belly, allowing it to expand. Then filling up the rib cage with the next, almost another third, and then the final bit of your breath filling up the chest. And then exhaling, letting it all out. Let's do that again. As you inhale, filling up the belly, then the rib cage, then the chest, and exhale. One more breath like this, filling the belly, the rib cage, the chest on the inhale, and exhaling it all out. And then just allowing the breath to find its own normal pace and rhythm as you observe it, breathing in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. And then bending those knees, bringing the feet onto the mat, keeping your feet about hip distance apart, and raising the arms up over your head and bringing them back down by your side. And again, arms up and down, and one last time, raising the arms up over the head and back down by your sides. Lifting the knees up and hugging them into the chest and giving yourself a nice comforting hug here. One more breath here. Allowing the hands to come down by the sides, let's just begin to cycle those legs. And keep them up high to start with. And you can start to speed it up a little bit. Just starting to warm up those legs. And let's keep that going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and then just swapping the way your legs go, so you're cycling backwards, for 4, 3, 2, 1, and hugging those knees into the chest again. And from here you can either roll over onto your side and come up to sitting, or just cross your ankles over, holding onto the outside edge of your seat, and roll up to sitting. And from here we're going to move on to all fours and bring the feet together, knees apart, pushing the hips back, allowing the arms to come out long and the forehead to come to the floor. So you're getting a nice stretch in the back, just opening those legs out so the inside thighs are starting to just waken up a little bit.
listening to the sound of your breath, taking comfort from that. One more breath here. And then just moving forward, we're going to move all the way forward into a squat. So having those toes pointing outwards. Come up onto your toes if you want to, so you don't have to have your heels on the ground, but wherever you are. And don't worry about how low or indeed how high you get. But wherever you are in the squat, try to have a nice long spine. If you can, get your arms in between your legs, pushing your knees away with your arms. And so you're pushing your arms against your knees and your knees against your arms. So a little bit of activation going on. And from here, we're going to take 5 breaths. Allowing that belly to fill on the inhale. Finding comfort, finding your point of comfort in this pose. And then allowing both hands to come down onto the mat. We're going to step this left leg all the way back. And we're going to just walk this right foot forward so we've got our right knee over our ankle. Having the foot out to the edge of the mat, you can allow the foot to lift up as you want to, because we're going to try and make our way down low here. So maybe coming on to your left forearm if you can, or indeed to your right forearm as well if you can. Just finding where works in this pose. And if you want a little bit more, you can lift that back leg up. Finding your point in this pose. And tuning into that breath. Taking one more breath here. If your knee is up off the floor, let it come down. Come up onto your hands. Heel toe that foot into the center, so your hands are either side of that right foot. And lift up the back leg so you're on the toes of your back foot in our runner's lunge here. Pushing out through the heel of that back foot. Good, and breathing into this pose, looking out in front of you, finding your point of comfort in this pose. Breathing into any areas that need extra attention. And then very slowly we're going to begin to straighten out this front leg. Just go with what works for you here. It's quite strong on the hamstrings, remembering to try not to lock your knee, so you want to keep a little micro bend in that knee, allowing that back foot to stretch too, so you're getting a double stretch here. Taking one more breath. And bending this front knee so it comes over the ankle. Hop that back foot forward so you can get it flat on the mat. Both feet are pointing in the same direction. They're hip distance
apart, keeping this knee bent. Up we come to warrior one. Raising the arms up, finding stability here. We want equal weight in both feet. Keeping that knee over the ankle. Checking in with your hips, squaring them up. And if you want, here you can just draw a little arc with the nose and look up to the ceiling. Calling on your core here to help you. Using your breath. As you exhale, lift that pelvic floor. Bring the belly button in and up. One more breath. Good. And we're going to bring these hands down onto the hips. Stepping this back foot up to meet the front. So you're probably over at the side of the mat like me. Having your toes touching, heels a little bit apart. And coming into your chair here, dipping the hips down. Good. See, can you find a point of comfort in the chair? I know it's not a very comfortable pose for many. And then use your breath to help ease out any areas of tightness or tension or difficulty. Bringing those hands onto the hips, stepping that left foot out, turning both toes out as we come all the way back down into our squat. Good. Finding that length in the spine here, finding a little bit more space from the tailbone up to the crown of the head. One more breath here. And letting both hands come down onto the mat, stepping that right leg all the way back, turning that left foot so it's straight, and out to the edge of the mat. And from here, making your way down. So this might be enough for you here, that's absolutely fine, but if you want a little bit more, come down onto that right forearm, and if you want more again, come onto the left forearm. And if you want more again, lift that right knee up off the floor. As we stay here for about 5 breaths. Guiding your breath to areas of your body that need a little bit of extra comfort. And then making your way up onto your hands, if you're not already there. Heel toeing that foot across to the center. So your hands are either side of it. And you're straight into your runner's lunge. Keeping that left knee over the ankle. Looking in front of you. Having the belly away from the thigh, from the left thigh. Calling on that core as you exhale, lifting the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. And then beginning to bring a little bit of straightness into that front leg, stretching out the back leg. Remember, try not to allow the knees or elbows to lock. Keep a little micro bend there. Good. One more breath. And then bending that left
knee so it's straight over the ankle, hopping that back foot forward, having them hip distance apart. You want that right foot flat on the floor, keeping the left knee bent as we come up, checking in with the hips on the way up that they're square, and we come into our warrior one. And again, allowing that breath to move to areas that require it. And at the same time, multitasking with your breath, just engaging that core on the exhale, lifting the pelvic floor, drawing the belly button in and up. And raising the gaze to the ceiling. One more breath. Bringing those hands down onto the hips, gaze goes straight forward. We're going to step this, keeping this knee bent, this left knee bent. We're going to step the right foot forward to come beside it, toes touching, heels just a little bit apart. So we're in our chair, keep sitting down with those hips and raising the arms up. Good, one more breath here. And bending those knees on down, allowing the hands to come to the floor, opening those feet out, bringing them to the outer edges of the mat as we sit down once again into our squat, finding length in the spine. Good, and bringing the hands behind you, just lowering yourself down onto the mat. If you've got space and width while you're facing this way on your mat, open your legs out nice and wide as they can go here, while sitting up tall. And then let's just begin to walk it out. So you're allowing the chest to move towards the floor. Just gently walking out with the hands. You'll be beginning to feel it on the inside of your thighs here, having your toes pointing up towards the ceiling. When you find your edge, wait there. And taking 2 more breaths. And beginning to make your way all the way back up, bending both knees. If you're able to reach your toes here, do. Alternatively, you can hold on to your thighs. We're going to be lifting up into seated balance. So you can do that either holding onto the thighs or holding onto the feet. And again, you can either have the knees bent here, or if you want a little bit more of a challenge, just starting to open out those legs. Being careful not to lock the knees, not to lock the elbows, keep a micro bend in each. Finding your point of balance. Nice soft focus on the eyes. Good, one more breath here. Drawing those knees together, we're still staying up. And now we're going to just lower ourselves down onto our back. And again, holding on to the feet, opening them out.
Noticing the difference here in this pose. It's probably a little stronger on the legs. Allowing that breath to move to the points that need it, the little places that want extra comfort. And drawing those legs together, allowing them to the feet to come all the way down to the mat, rolling over onto your side to come up to sitting once more. And from here, lifting those legs up once again, feet up off the floor. And if you want, you can begin to straighten them out for a boat pose. One more breath here. Good. And lowering those feet. Just wrapping your arms around your shins, tucking the head in for a little bit of a hug here. Listening to the sound of your own breath. And coming up, we're going to just move it over to a plank. So again, in your plank, having a little micro bend in those elbows, fingers out nice and wide, heels over the toes. And from here, coming down onto your knees and your feet. And we're going to keep the chest up this time, and you've got a choice here of staying like this or shifting the weight onto the tops of your feet and lifting your knees up, drawing the gaze up. And from wherever you are in this pose, shifting it back to a plank, and then pushing your hips back for a downward dog. Good, and once again, moving it into a plank. Taking one more breath here. And allowing the knees to come down. Open out the feet. This time allow the belly to come down as we come into a high cobra here, back bend. And pushing up into your plank once more, having those shoulders over the hips, over the wrists. And pushing back into your downward dog. Good, one more breath here. And bringing those knees to the floor. Let's come to sit all the way down. So having your toes pointing up to the ceiling, fingers pointing towards the hips, either side of the hips. Finding that length in the spine here. And beginning to allow that chest to move towards the thighs. Bending your knees as much as you want. Coming into a forward fold here. Keeping those toes, those feet flexed, toes pointing up to the ceiling. back up to sit up tall, we're going to draw that left hand behind us, right hand to the side, and just allowing our chest to move towards the floor here. Feeling that nice openness in the back in this stretch. And making your way all the way up. We're going to just draw this left foot in towards the right thigh and reach forward with that right hand to the right foot, having this knee as bent as you want to, and with the left hand you're just going to bring it behind you. So I don't know if you can see, but it's here, drawing it all the way behind. So we're opening our chest here. Again, breathing into any areas that require your attention. One more breath. And then making your way up. We're going to draw this right knee back. So now both legs are bent as we just take a little turn to the left. Lovely stretch here, lovely openness in the front. Taking one more breath. And making your way back to the center with those feet out in front of you as we once again come into a forward fold here. Nice and deep, allowing that chest to move towards the thighs. Listening to the sound of your own breath. And then slowly making your way all the way up and taking the hands. So the left hand comes behind you, right hand comes behind you, left hand out to the side. And just allowing that chest to move towards the floor and the gaze. Taking one more breath here. And making your way all the way up. Let's just draw that right foot in against the left thigh. Allowing the left hand to come down, reaching down towards that left foot, wherever it gets to is perfect. And then just drawing this right arm behind you. Two more breaths here. Breathing into any areas looking for attention. And as you draw up, bringing this left foot behind as we take a little twist to the right. Opening up the whole front of the body again here. One more breath. And coming all the way around, we're going to make our way back to our plank. Shoulders over the wrists, opening those hands out nice and wide. Having those heels over the toes. And just
bringing that left hand into the center. We're going to step the right foot across the left and lift up the right arm. Good, one more breath here. And bringing it all the way back into your plank once again. And let's just bring that right hand into the center, turning over onto the side of that right foot, stepping the left foot across and opening up the arm. One more breath. And making your way back to your plank, coming down onto your knees. And we're going to come straight up here on our knees and step that left foot up. So your left knee is directly over your left ankle. And keeping this right hand on your waist, let's just lift this left hand up and draw it all the way back and allow the gaze to go up towards the ceiling. One more breath here. And making your way back to straightness, let's just change those arms. So change those feet, sorry. So now your right knee is over your right ankle, left hand onto your left hip, raising that right arm up, drawing it all the way back and allowing that gaze to go up towards the ceiling. One more breath here. And making your way all the way down, and from here on down to your belly, allowing the forehead to come to the earth and your hands to come either side of your chest. Keeping the elbows in so the shoulders are back and down. And on your next inhale, we're going to just lift that chest up off the floor, keeping the gaze on the mat. And allow the forehead to lower down. And once again, lifting the chest away, keeping the gaze on the mat in front of you. And coming all the way down, letting the hands come down by your sides. Let's lift the right leg up and let it down. And lift the left leg up and let it down. And lift both legs up and let them down. And then on the next inhale, lifting the chest and the legs up. And allowing it to come down. And once more, lifting it all up. And drawing it down. Good. And from here, just making your way onto your back. As we lie down, long, and on your next inhale, just drawing the shoulders up a little bit, digging into the floor with your elbows as you lift your upper body up.
allow the gaze to go back.
And drawing it back down again. Once again, draw the shoulders up, push the elbows into the mat, lifting the upper body up,
and then allow the gaze to drift towards the back, wherever is comfortable.
And coming all the way down, hugging those knees into the chest. Taking comfort here. Listening to the sound of your own breath. And from here, we're going to come up, if you want, into a shoulder stand. Let me show you if you're not comfortable with the shoulder stand. Just allow the legs to come straight up with your back on the mat. If you want to bring a shoulder stand into it, just curl up into it, having those elbows coming straight out, supporting your hips with your hands, legs coming straight up. Good. Wherever you are in this, whether your back is on the mat or you're in a shoulder stand, just allow the legs to open out wide. If your back is on the mat, you can draw those legs together. If you're in your shoulder stand, you might want to let those feet come all the way behind you. And then begin to walk them together. Just to the point of comfort. If you're on your back, you might want to open those legs out wide again. If you're on your shoulders, you might want to lift those legs up, bending those knees, and then straighten the legs up. If you're on your back, drawing your legs together. If you're on your shoulders, bend your knees as you just allow yourself to lower onto the ground. Ending with your back on the mat and your feet pointing upwards. And from here, bending those knees, allowing them feet to come to the floor. Taking that right foot up and just crossing it over the left, pushing away from your center, pushing your knee away from your center. Breathing into any area that requires an extra bit of comfort and attention. And allowing that right foot to come to the floor, just swapping it over. Pushing away with that left knee. And letting the left foot come down to the floor. As you're lying here, just draw the hands up over the eyes. And with the eyes covered, allow yourself to tune into your breath. listening to the sound of yourself breathing. Taking comfort from that sound. And knowing the comfort that that breath can give to your body. And you can either stay here with your hands on your eyes as you allow your knees to just fall over to the left. Or you may want to open your arms out into a T and just turn your head to the right. Bringing those legs back through the center to come over to the other side. And if your arms are in a T, just turning your gaze in the direction, in the opposite direction to your knees. Back into the center, pulling them in for a final hug here. And then beginning to prepare yourself for Shavasana, your final resting pose. I hope you're enjoying this practice. Thank you so much for joining me on it. I'll be back here again on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 6. Hope you have a fabulous weekend and that you allow yourself moments of comfort throughout the weekend. I will bid you a namaste now. And I just invite you to give yourself permission to totally let go. Let go your fingers and the palms of your hands and the backs of your hands. Let go your wrists and forearms, elbows, upper arms, armpits, the whole of your arms. Just let them go. Let go your shoulders and your shoulder blades and the back of your rib cage and the whole of your spine. Just let it go. Let go your chest and the fronts of your rib cage and your belly, your whole pelvic area and glutes. Just let it all go. Letting go the backs of your thighs, the fronts of your thighs, the backs of your knees, the fronts of your knees. Letting go your calves and shins, ankles, heels, tops of the feet, soles of the feet, and your toes.
whole of your legs. Just let it go. Letting go the back of your head and the crown of your head, your forehead, eyebrows, eyes, cheeks, jaw, chin, lips, and tongue. Just let it all go. And allow your attention to move to your breath as you breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. Taking a moment here of gratitude to yourself. Gratitude for the comfort you've given yourself and for your ability to comfort yourself and others. And take yourself off to a beach, your favorite beach, wherever that is. Noticing the sounds, the smells, the texture of the beach. The temperature of the sun, the feel of the breeze. Find a place here to sit and rest.